2 decades on, 2000's Charlie's Angels still holds up today, thanks to the trio of iconic performers at its center. The film reboot saw Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and Lucy Liu play the intellectual property's 3 female super spies. Join facts first as Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu reveal naughty photos from the set. Few could have predicted how well Charlie's Angels would hold up. Released around the turn of the millennium, the movie has proved just as much of a time capsule for the time it's making as the show it was based on has for the 70s. At the time the film came out, the 3 women portraying the spies were already big stars. Drew is now the host of her own talk show, and recently she had old co-star Lucy Liu on as a guest. They reminisced about their time filming Charlie's Angels. There are plenty of well-known tales from the making of the hit movie, including about how Lucy Liu and co-star Bill Murray may or may not have gotten into a physical altercation on set. However, Lucy revealed a brand new tidbit about the filming, and it has fans clamoring for more details. During the interview, it was revealed that Drew allowed Lucy to take nude photographs of her in her dressing room. When Drew asked Lucy if she knew whatever happened to those photos, Lucy said she was still hanging on to them after all those years. Apparently, Lucy has made a habit over the course of her career of taking suggestive photos of co-stars. Filming Charlie's Angels was a bonding experience for its 3 female stars in many ways. The 3 women had to undergo extensive training to meet the physical demands of their roles. They trained 5 days a week for 3 months, and their trainer was a famous Hollywood fight choreographer named Chung-Yan Yun. The name might not be familiar to most people, but this was the same man who helped prep Keanu Reeves for his fight scenes in The Matrix. According to Drew, the 3 ladies were so sore after their initial training session, they each had to go bathe in Epsom salt. Shooting Charlie's Angels changed Cameron Diaz's life. The physical stress was particularly hard on Cameron Diaz, who wasn't at the healthiest point of her life when she was hired to portray one of the leads. According to the actress, who was 26 at the time, she had just quit smoking and didn't have the healthiest diet. As far as strength, she had a lot of building up to do. Holding herself up to the strict standards imposed on her by the film's shoot changed her life, and she's been a much healthier person ever since. Charlie's Angels proved a massive success at the box office, making $264 million on a $93 million budget. The film was so successful it yielded a sequel a few years later, though the sequel didn't perform quite as well. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle released in 2003, and its poor reception put the franchise on hold for over a decade before it was rebooted again in 2019's Charlie's Angels. That movie saw a new trio of female performers take on the lead roles, but it was a bomb. Charlie's Angels is still considered the best iteration of the property on the big screen. In fact, some people like it more than the original show. Few people likely realize just how large of a role Drew Barrymore played in getting the film off the ground. At the time when it was first coming to fruition, Drew was hard at work, filming 1999's Never Been Kissed. During this time, Drew Barrymore wasn't quite the box office star we think of her as today. After a troubled upbringing as a child star, Drew spent much of the 90s playing supporting roles in films like Scream and Batman Forever. Charlie's Angels solidified Drew Barrymore's star status. Never Been Kissed was a huge hit, and it proved that Drew Barrymore had what it took to be an adult star. It also gave her quite a bit of leverage when it came to choosing her next project. Drew's producing partner at the time was a woman named Nancy Juvoven, and it was Nancy who first brought Charlie's Angels to Drew's attention. When Drew heard about the potential Charlie's Angels film, she took a significant personal interest. Drew and her producing partner asked for a meeting with Sony Pictures, which was the production company trying to get the film off the ground. Drew shared her personal vision for the film, and they were impressed. After the meeting with Sony, Drew and Nancy were brought on to take charge of the project. Not only did Drew decide what the tone of the film would be like, but she was also given the opportunity to handpick both the director and her 2 female co-stars. According to Drew, she knew immediately that she wanted Cameron Diaz. It was Drew who called Cameron up, and the actress didn't take much convincing. According to Cameron, Drew's pitch focused on the hot girls doing cool stuff angle. The director Drew chose was a music video director known by the singular moniker McG. The movie was the director's first feature film, and he imbued it with an MTV-esque style that helped it fit in with the times. Another thing that helped the film appeal to the MTV crowd was its Destiny's Child theme song. Named Independent Women Part 1, the song is largely considered to be the band's most iconic, and it has arguably grown to eclipse the legacy of the film. Some of the many videos that McG directed before Charlie's Angels include the ones for All Star by Smash Mouth and Santeria by Sublime. Lucy Liu became an angel and pissed off Bill Murray. When it came time to choose her second female co-star, Drew Barrymore wasn't quite sure, as she had been when it came to her decisions to hire both Cameron Diaz and McG. Allegedly, Selma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, and Jennifer Lopez were all considered for the part. Lucy Liu wasn't nearly as big of a star at the time as she is today. She was mostly known for her television work, having a supporting role on Ally McBeal. When Lucy showed up for her audition, both Drew and Cameron claimed they felt an instant connection. With that, the trio was set in stone. The original trio that portrayed the characters on the 1970s Charlie's Angels were Farrah Fawcett, Jaclyn Smith, and Kate Jackson. All three were offered the chance to make appearances in the 2000 film, but none of them did. The original Angels weren't upset by the new films. The stars simply didn't align for them to cameo. Jaclyn Smith ended up appearing in the 2003 sequel. Besides that, 2000's Charlie's Angels had plenty of notable male presences. The most iconic was the villainous Thin Man, who was a silent assassin, played by Back to the Future's Crispin Glover. According to Crispin, his character originally had dialogue in the script. It was his choice to make the character silent, as he felt it would make him more memorable and threatening. Each of the angels in the film also had a love interest. Those were played by Tom Green, Luke Wilson, and Matt LeBlanc. Tom Green played Drew Barrymore's love interest, and the two performers were actually a real-life item at the time. They went on to get married. And the biggest male star on the film was Bill Murray, who played Bosley. Bill was not brought back to appear in the sequel and was replaced by Bernie Mac. There have been numerous rumors over the years that the reason Bill wasn't asked back was because he got into altercations on set with both Lucy Liu and McG. The legends say that on separate occasions, Lucy beat up Bill Murray, and then Bill Murray tried to beat up McG. Lucy had denied that she got physical with Bill, and Bill has denied he got physical with McG. But it's apparent Bill said something mean to Lucy that got under everyone's skin. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know Lucy Liu took nude pictures of Drew Barrymore during the filming of Charlie's Angels, and that she's still holding on to them? Let us know in the comments section below.